So it's been a week of examining the state of our nation. Last Thursday night was the President's State of the Nation address in a Parliament. This week, the debate by MPs on his speech, and then the President's reply this afternoon. So let's head to the Eastern Cape, where I'm joined now by political analyst Ongama Mtimka to talk SONA, but also political developments in his home province today. Ongama, always great to chat to you. Very good evening to you. So it's been a week of talking about the state of our nation. Do you feel more informed, more positive about the way forward for South Africa?
Good evening, Sally and your viewers. I'm quite more inspired about today's presentation, the response that the President gave, which, by the way, was a factual presentation, more than the poetry-laden presentation of SONA. I think that today reflects a President who's coming to terms with especially the strategic positioning of South Africa and the many things that it has which it can leverage for growth. I agree with him that part of the legacies of dealing with the pandemic is a potential positive legacy on an inclusive healthcare system. But it takes more than just a recognition, and I think government, on many of the things that it has identified as conveyed by the President today, which are greatly inspiring, but it's going to take bold, courageous action to get them going. I mean, we shouldn't be talking about the NHI as if it's something that we've learned about yesterday. We should be talking some successes at this stage. But I'm quite happy that the President sees some positive legacies from managing the pandemic to an inclusive healthcare system. When it comes to the economic front, I'm glad that he's recognizing the strategic endowments of South Africa, which many presidents before him have. But I like the fact that his rhetoric is changing more towards how we can escape our neo-colonial entanglement and focus a lot more on leveraging these strategic resources and skills that we have as a country to leverage our own growth with locally grown solutions. All I would like to caution is that against is the fixation with the mainstream, as if all that happens in the country is in the mainstream, in the higher echelons of power or knowledge production. There's a lot that is happening in communities too, which is equally great, which can result in greater growth in South Africa.
Often those, the real change happens at that very granular micro level. But equally, direction from the top is critical. One of the abiding criticisms from the opposition has been not only, well, today they were unhappy, they feel he didn't actually respond to what they had to say about his address, but they say he's not prepared to make big decisions. And if you look at what's happened, just as an example, we see that Ace Magashule, SG of the ANC, appearing in court tomorrow on hefty corruption charges. He has yet to step aside, even though the constitution of the political party indicates that that is exactly what he should be doing. What is your understanding of why big decisions are not being made by the President? Do you think it's because it takes time to get to the big fish of corruption, or do you think he is hamstrung from what is happening within his party?
I don't think that the President should be involved at all in the cases that the NPA pursues, but I do think that the performance management of the unit does need to be among some of his key focus areas. So as long as aggregated reporting on cases prosecuted successfully and those that have not is crucial, and because it's an executive function. And I do think that since in the past two reports of the NPA to Parliament, for me, showed that there's beginning to be a lot more focus on performance, and the reporting mechanism is good. So, but when it comes to bold decisions being made, I think the President just needs to sit down and determine what kind of legacy does he want to leave. Does he want to be a lame duck president who remained entrapped by the internal politics of the party, or does he want to recognize that he's fearing the inevitable and therefore should actually devote himself to leading the party and the government and the entire administrative apparatus to create towards performance. That's crucial. Doesn't take speeches. And I think by the way, earlier on, I think the comments by the opposition parties are very fair, because the president actually took a tactical escape there. But having said that, I quite like the new focus on the political economy of South Africa, particularly focusing on those things which we do best, because they've tended to rely too much on Western imposed solutions when it comes to leading in this country.
Yeah, we've got to trust ourselves. I have to ask you about what's been going on in your part of the world. The news today that the Eastern Cape Health MEC, Sindiswa Gwamba, has been fired. This over the Mandela funeral cost scandal from 2013. A lot of people saying it should have happened a long time ago. Do you think it's a step in the right direction for the province's health system? And do you think her replacement, who's the COGTA MEC, Xolile Nxata, is the right person to fill her shoes?
Sure. So I think that what made things easy for Ongama Mtimka is that Sindiswa Gwamba, while senior in the ANC, in the sense that she's one of the additional members in the provincial leadership structure of the party, is not among the top six. And you will recognize, Sally, that in the ANC, the more power you have, you tend you can bargain for political solutions to things. So it was an easy decision to make, and the fact that other stakeholders were backing this move. We saw as early as I think Monday this week, where the National Working Committee of the ANC kind of gave Ongama Mtimka the go-ahead to make this reshuffle. And I think that this was giving the Eastern Cape ANC its first test in its commitment to the call that it has made, that the step-aside rule must apply when it comes to Ace Magashule.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, your latter question.
Yes, carry on.
On your latter question, I think Nxata will manage. Comes mainly from the Communist Party ranks and really has tried in his own department. And I don't think that in the short period of time he won't hold things together.
Well, thank you very much. I really do appreciate your measured analysis this evening. Political analyst Ongama Mtimka coming to us from Port Elizabeth this evening.